What's going on, everybody? Another boxing video. It is fight week. Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia. Fight's going to be a big one. This one is on pay-per-view. I believe it's Showtime or Fox. One of them. Yeah, it looks like it's Showtime. Big stuff. Generally speaking, I don't think that Tank fights are worthy of pay-per-view. I think he fights pretty weak competition. However, I do think this fight is a little bit of a step up. And this is the fight if he wins before the Ryan Garcia fight. That's what they said. That's what they promised. So I'm going to take them at their word for it. And I like the undercard for this fight. You got guys like Jaron Ennis on the undercard, who I think is, really good. And a lot of people think is fantastic and will be a big time star to come. And you got Demetrius Andrade, who I think is one of the most underrated fighters of this era. He's getting a chance to showcase himself. Hopefully he can get a big fight. And you got Rashidi Ellis on the card as well. You got Lamont, Peterson, Brandun. So you have big names, and it's an interesting fight. But generally speaking, I don't really pay for Gervonta Davis fights. I don't think they're worth the money. This fight, however, might be the first one where I'm interested in buying. But it's something that is definitely interesting. It's not the fight that people are looking for, but it's the fight that we're getting. I think Hector Garcia is a little underrated. I know a lot of people may not be familiar with him, but he is, from the Dominican Republic. He is a good fighter. He is slick, and he did beat Chris Colbert, who was a very, very big prospect in boxing, a highly respected prospect in boxing. That was at 130. I believe this fight will be at 135. I think with Gervonta Davis, he is a very talented fighter, but I think because of the Mayweather Promotions cosign, he's been elevated to the status of being this pound-for-pound fighter, which he has never proven. He has no major wins, in my opinion. He's only held one world title at 130, and I don't think he's really been that impressive in a lot of his fights. I remember him versus Gamboa. I wasn't very impressed. I remember him versus Barrios. Wasn't really impressive, but whatever, it was at 140. And I remember him versus Isaac Cruz, and I wasn't that impressed. So, I don't know. He does have some sensational knockouts, like not Isaac Cruz, Leo Santa Cruz and Rolly Romero. So, I think that he's an exciting fighter, but I am not ready to elevate him to this top-tier pound-for-pound level at all. Quite frankly, I'm not willing to do that whatsoever. And I don't like that he's doing this 136-pound catchweight nonsense with Ryan Garcia in his next fight. It's like, fight him at 135 or fight at 140. Or if you're going to fight him, and Ryan Garcia's weight class now is 140, you should fight him at 140. Being that you fought Barrios at 140, I don't see why it's any problem. But I'm getting off on a tangent. This is a good fight. I'm anticipating victories from Demetrius Andrade, Jaron Ennis, and I think Gervonta Davis too. I'm expecting him to win. Hector Garcia is a tough guy, though. I'm going to say that this fight goes the distance, but I could see Gervonta Davis possibly stopping him. But, just the way Gervonta fights, he fights with such a low work rate, and he really banks on his power a lot. He almost fights like a bigger fighter. He fights like a heavyweight or a light heavyweight. And it's interesting because he has very few punches thrown, but he connects, and if he connects, he gets you out of there. So it should be interesting, who is going to win this fight. I'm going with Gervonta Davis by decision. That's my fight preview. Please let me know what you guys think. Peace.